Today we have a game of Beastmen versus Stormcast. We're playing Geomantic Pulse. Beastmen went ahead and they are the attacker. They chose to also go first. Trying out a little different tactic with them. Gonna try to shoot for a double on between turn 2 and 3 is what I'm thinking. And hopefully first turn with them will be able to either get the Stormcast to take the double on a second or be able to have a higher chance of winning that priority roll. This is my justification for it. Maybe I'm totally wrong and Beast will just not end out working pretty well on this one. Who knows? We'll see as we go into Beastmen turn 1. Beast turn 1, they chose Magical Dominance, and with this caster, went ahead and cast Mystic Shield. Also gave him a command point. Stormcast, for their heroic action, did not generate a command point. After that, they did try to summon the Bull. That did not work, but they did get their Magical Dominance battle tactic from that. They then moved on up, moving him exactly 16 on up, not to get the objective, but to be within 30 to deny them, or try to deny them Magical Dominance if they tried to do it this first turn. Because he didn't want to get shot off the board, he moved this unit on up as well. We don't mind them getting shot off the board. Went ahead and used the Brayblast Artefact to summon these guys on in while we can, as this Shaman has it over here. They just stayed put where they were, didn't want to really move around too much. This one moved on up just to tag that objective, get that 1 point for turn 1, and as well as moved him back on over just to cover this area to make sure, this was before those guys were summoned, to make sure that this area wasn't going to get stomped by Cryptborn if he decided to teleport himself on over here. With that, the Doombull was not able to hold back the horde, and those shield minotaurs smelled blood in the air, wanted to taste man flesh, so they went ahead and summoned on over here, needing a 7-inch charge, +1 with the 9-inch normally, then a +1 with the instrument, and +1 for arriving from deep strike from the wilderness, and they needed a 7, rolled an 8, got in, dealt 5 mortals on the charge, then just massacred this chariot, and the chariot blew up on them, killing one of them. They needed a 6 for battle shock, and what were the chances of that? Pretty high, as this one ran as well. So leaving this unit with 4. Was it a good trade? Probably not, but they wanted something. Plus, it will also keep these archers off of that hero, hopefully, over there, if they've got to also deal with them. So, those were the tactics for that. Stormcast deploying the chariot all the way over here at the beginning. 1, wanted to try and coax these guys on out, and 2, figured if it was up here and could have gotten a first turn charge if they tried to do anything. Unfortunately for the chariot, they did a ritual ruin from that Brayherd Shaman in deployment, taking 2 mortals from him, and the chariot moving back 6 inches, opening up a hole for the Bullgors to be summoned on in and charging the chariot. With that, that's Beast turn 1, and we're going off to Stormcast turn 1. We'll see what they can do. Stormcast turn 1, they chose Surround and Destroy, worried that this guy would deny something, which he did. He denied a Mystic Shield. Stormcast rolled a 10. He actually ended up rolling an 11 raw. So, Knight Zephyros, though, then went ahead and did Arcane Bolt, using the Primal for that, and then unleashing that bolt on the Ungors here, killing off one at the battle shock phase. Stormcast just moved around a bit. The Surround and Destroy, they chose the Knight Zephyros. the Retributors and that are in the back there, and the Liberators that were teleported over here just outside their deployment, 6 inches from that table edge. So we've got that objective. Problem is, it puts Stormcast in a little bit of predicament. They're way on over there, and we're a little bit more spread out with a potential hole here. But the Knight Zephyros hopefully helping that on out. With that though, we ended up gaining 3 as we controlled this objective with them as the Liberators ran on up, and that should be 3 points for Stormcast. They were going to issue Thunderbolt Volley from these guys on into those Bullgors, but I forgot about the terrain rule, about 3 inches through Wildwood. You can't see anything, so they couldn't even see them. So that was actually a decent play by Beasts, not realizing it. They did shoot this group on over here. Did have line of sight to the Ungors, so they did shoot into them. Out of the 11 attacks, they hit with 4 of them. I was a terrible whiff there. No mortals either. Ended up killing 4. Ended up killing 4. And then, no, 3 of them. Sorry. They ended up killing 3. Knight Zephyros also shot, killing 1. And then the Arcane Bolt killed 1 more, which gives Ungors 5 left there. They went ahead and did Inspiring Presence or whatnot to not have to worry about Battle Shock there. As we saw last turn with the Bullgors, it probably could have rolled a 6. With that, we're going to go into priority roll with the game tied. And it is going to be Beast choosing. With that, I think the Beasts will go ahead and let the Stormcast go again, because how bad could it get? And they're able to control where the pulse goes, whether or not it starts here or over here. So we'll go into Beasts, or Stormcast actually, turn 2. Stormcast turn 2, they went ahead and just decided to do Intimidate the Invaders, making sure that they got most of their guys out of the deployment. Just moved on up the castle, tried to grab these 2 objectives here, make sure that we are in a good position once the pulse starts moving across. We went ahead and we only were able to generate 1 cast and die, or primal magic, and didn't really cast too much. We tried to do a Mystic Shield, but ended up getting denied. And Ionis moved on up as well from last turn, and went ahead and did a prayer on these guys being within 18 inches. Before he moved, he was able to do a prayer and dealt 2 mortals to the Shaman, as well as 3 to the Ungor here, and another 1 to the Ghor here. After he moved on up, the Beast decided to redeploy the Shaman and moved 6 inches. So got him right on back behind here. Ionis went ahead and fired at him because he was still within 12 inches. And all shots went into the Shaman, and he was able to make all of his saves, as he still had Mystic Shield, he was in cover, and he all-out defensed. So he was able to add a 3-up save in that point. And we also, over here, charged with the Liberators. Got 3 wounds onto the Chariot and 1 explosion when the Chariot came back and dealt 2 wounds to them. The Night Zephyr moved on over here, ran the Winds Etheric, got that point. So with that, Stormcast got 6 points for the turn. Hopefully positioning Ionis here and moving some of these guys around won't be a detriment to them, as all of this needs to come on the board now. Turn 2. Bullgors were roared. So 4s and 3s. that's the drop pile. Beastmen turn 2, they chose Rampaging Beastherd. Unit of 10 needs to contest an objective that was controlled by the opponent, which we did here. In the hero phase, the Shaman tried to cast the Bull Endless Spell. Didn't work. He did manage to get off Ritual of Ruin, dealing 6 mortals there and 1 to himself. He didn't want to put it onto the unit of 10 here as they needed to capture this objective. In doing so, though, 2 of the Liberators attacked back, ended up killing the Chariot. So that was unfortunate, but leaving 1 Liberator there who passed his battle shock. These Bullgors ran. They were just shy with the auto 6 of getting 3 guys on there, so we won't take that for beasts. Moving on over here, moved this Chariot on up, had a 10-inch charge, ended up rolling at a 9. Didn't want to do the reroll as we had some other charges that we wanted to make in. The Gors ended up using the Darkwalker ability, moving on over here, while the Shaman moved up and over here, getting in position for a potential Blizzard. He tried casting Blizzard, ended up succeeding, and Stormcast did an auto-deny from the Knight and Cantor so that Ionis would stay alive and not get hit by Blizzard. These Gors did the Darkwalker stuff so that they're within 3 inches of the Shaman. These guys ran back, just trying to keep them alive. Bullgors with paired axes charged on into Ionis, dealing 3 mortals because he was able to save. They then went ahead and attacked. I think you saw their pitiful rolls there as they failed a bunch and only ended up dealing another 3 damage to Ionis. Over here, Stormcast piled in with their Retributors and ended up dealing 12 wounds to the Ghorgon, who did an all-out defense issued from the general on over here. The Ghorgon, in response, tried to swallow whole, needing a 4-up on 2 of the models. Ended up rolling a 2 and a 2, so was not able to get swallow whole because he would have been able to heal himself for an additional 6 at that point if he got both of them. So unfortunately, he just went in and attacked, killed 3 models of the Retributors, whipping on his maw into the Judicators, and ended up healing an additional 3, which then the Judicators piled in and dealt 1 wound to him. So he's on 10 wounds taken, 6 remaining. With that, we're going to go into the priority roll, which is going to be a big one for beasts, I think, at this point. So we'll see. Nope, Stormcast get to keep it if they'd like, which they probably will. Try to clean out, maybe finish off the Ghorgon there, and try to take some additional objectives on over there. So we'll see. Stormcast turn 3, they chose Bait and Trap, which they were able to do by disengaging those guys there, falling back with them from the Ghorgon. They were able to charge with the Liberator here, the Knight Zephyros over here, as well as Andrasta over there. Now, with the hero phase, he was able to cast his Lightning's Prayer, Cryptborn was, and he chose him, dealing 3 mortals, but on a 3-up, it did not jump on over. She tried to cast Blizzard onto the Bullgors, which did not go off, even using their primordial dice, so that just happened that way. These guys auto-ran, getting 2 guys onto the objective. So 2 Liberators on there, counting for 3 apiece. Beast could have redeployed, but it wouldn't have mattered. So having that command point spent wouldn't have really mattered. So we just left him there. That Liberator, when he charged on in, the Ungors got to choose to fight before him. So they piled away. And the Liberator tried to attack the... Actually, I'm sorry. The Liberator attacked first. He tried to kill the Bray-Shaman, dealing only 2 wounds. And then the Ungors decided to go away from him instead of pile towards him. And then the Brayherd Shaman, when he attacked back, didn't do anything. The Knight Zephyros over here tried to shoot during the shooting phase. This Shaman didn't work, so didn't worry about that. She went ahead and attacked the Chariot, dealing 1 wound. Chariot attacked back, not pretty much whiffing, or she was able to save the 1 or 2 wounds that came across. During the hero phase, this unit here shot into the Bullgors, killing 1. They also then shot into the Ghor during the shooting phase, and they were able to do, I think, 4 wounds. The Ghorgon was able to do all-out defense, saving quite a few of those. Ionis breathed fire onto these guys, dealing 2 wounds. And then he all-out attacked and finished them off. So he was able to kill them. Andrasta, she wounded with 3 attacks. He was actually able to save 2 of them on 2 6s, with 2 6s taking 3 wounds. And he was able to attack her back, dealing only 2 against her. With her ward saves and whatnot. With that, though, Stormcast are able to gain this objective and the Pulse, but not that one. So that will give them 3 plus the 1 for 4, and their battle tactic for 6 points. We'll go on into Beast's turn 3 here, but that will wrap up Stormcast turn 3. Just had to capture this because in the hero phase, we got a little rambunctious, and with the potential of Blizzard onto Ionis from him, I said, why not? Let's cast that first. Instead of trying to use the once per battle, getting a +3 to the casting roll to cast a second spell. Instead, I was just like, why not? Let's use Blizzard right now. So we did. We rolled a 4. Taking that, saying why not? We only live once. We ended up rolling 2 more Primal dice, getting a 9, 13, not being able to deny from anybody else, because Stormcast don't have a Primal. Which is awesome! Ionis is dead, right? Wrong. We only live once, and that's what we rolled for the damage. So, I'm going to roll the 4d3 damage on him right now, and he's probably dead as well. Yep. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. Man, he did more damage to himself than he did to Ionis, who healed during the heroic phase, which is why he's only at 8. Sorry, Birdman. So, Beast turn 3, we had Bait and Trap for their objective. We had a pretty chaotic spellcasting. Was able to get the Bull out. Dealt only 1 mortal to about 3 units. We also had this guy attempt an Arcane Bolt, which then killed the Liberator that was there. But then the Liberator dealt 1 mortal back, actually, taking him to 4. But then also rolled a 4 up to go ahead and attack, which he then did and massacred him. So that's unfortunate for Beast there. They went ahead and charged on into here. They did get their battle tactic. By the way, let's go for that first. They disengaged that Chariot from the Knight Zephyr, as well as retreated the Bullgor from Andrasta. After that Liberator died, Stormcast used their last command point to call for aid, getting that unit back, throwing them right there. With that, it meant that the Ghorgon could charge in the charge phase and not worry about Unleash Hell, which he did. We made a charge with the Ghorgon, we made a charge with the Bullgors here, we made a charge with the Ungors over here. Obviously, the Tzaangor's dead from Blizzard blowing up in his face. The Ungors was able to make the Night Zephyr fight last, so we did that combat in the end. They ended up having 10 wounds against her. She was able to armor save all 8 out of those. She then proceeded to kill 2 of the Ghor. The Bullgors over here attacked before the Liberators, killing them all, but most of them were able to attack back, which they did, and killed 2 of the Bullgors with their attacks and them blowing up in their face. The Bullgors had to roll bravery for battle shock and was able to succeed that, so no more are going to be running, but it is what it is. The Ghorgon over here ended up attacking, was able to swallow because he was at 14 wounds taken, he was able to swallow only one thing. Chose one of the Judicators because it was just an easier roll. It was a 3-up instead of a 4-up. Gained 2 health back, and then proceeded to attack the Retributors. Ended up dealing 9 wounds to them, but because they were within range of Gardas, they actually ended up saving all but 5. So it was actually pretty good for them. They did end up whiffing on him though, and the last unit of Judicators here, the Maw also killed. There are another 3, dealing max damage out of the D6 for that attack. And the other Maw went into them, but missed. He also did an all-out attack with him, just to make sure we could probably do some stuff with him before he died. Unfortunately, his Maw, his heroic action where he can heal wounds happens at the end of the combat phase. And if it happened right when the models were destroyed, he would still be alive. Unfortunately, they ended up killing him down by 1 wound over, and he is now slain. With that, though, we're going to go on to Stormcast, or we're going to actually roll a priority roll right now, once I find my dice that I was using for it. Here they are. So pretty eventful turn for Beasts. They do end up gaining 6 points because of their battle tactic and those 2 objectives on over there, the Pulse and the other. So we'll see who gets to go next. The Ghorgon dying is pretty big. But there's still some battle tactics Beasts can do, but as far as holding objectives, probably not. Let's see though, as we get a 3 and a 4, Stormcast get to choose, which they probably will go. Stormcast turn 4, they chose Secure the Battlefield, which they were able to do by Ionis teleporting himself over there. The Zephyr going ahead and moving out of combat over here with the Ghors on over to this position over here. The 1 load Judicator running automatically 6 to get within this quarter, and we have these Judicators here within that quarter. So they were able to get their battle tactic. During the hero phase, prayers went off automatically on Ionis, making sure that he was able to teleport. Spells didn't really do too much as well. Only got Mystic Shield off on her, and then was denied the Arcane Bolt for her. They went ahead and did their movements, and then for shooting, Andrasta was able to get a shot onto the Doombull, just killing him outright, dealing 6 damage, actually ending up rolling out of the D6, 6 damage to outright kill him. He had 6 wounds remaining because he had taken 2 already. So that was unfortunate for the Beasts. The Judicators didn't really do too much damage. Ended up killing one of the Bullgors. They were able to rally one of the Bullgors and immediately was shot off from them as well. Gardas moved on over and made his charge into the Brayherd Shaman, and the Liberators made their charge over here. Combat was a little dicey. Liberators went first, ending up able to kill one of the Bulls. Actually, wasn't able to kill one of the Bulls, just was able to deal enough damage to one of them to be at like 3 damage taken. Beasts all-out defensed the Shaman in the woods, able to save him with Gardas only dealing 1 damage to him. The Shaman only did 1 damage back to Gardas in the end. And then the Bulls were able to kill 3 of these guys. I moved Gardas a little too far out of range, so the first 2 had to die without Gardas saves. But that one and the other one had 4 more damage left to take, was able to save one of them to keep one of them alive. The 2 that died were able to fight back and actually ended up killing one of the Bullgors. The Prime that was in the unit with the Great Hammer did not fight back, and then in the end they dealt 1 more mortals with their explosions. Unfortunately, though, the Liberators did roll a 6 for their bravery, meaning those 2 have fled. The Beastmen also rolled a 6 for their battle shock, and that one has fled. So after they came together and fought, they all just decided to go home. And in the end, the Stormcast do gain their battle tactic. They do not gain this objective, as it is still Beastmen's. And this one here, I believe it's still Beastmen's. I'm gonna look that back up. I think it's at the end of the turn. But yeah, that one should still be Beastmen's. This one is Stormcast as well as that one, gaining them 6 points in the end for this turn. Then we'll go on to Beast turn 4. Turn 4 for Beast, they chose Aid of the Wilderness, which they were able to complete with this unit of Ungor, as well as the 5-man unit of Ungor that used Darkwalkers to get on over there. It was a close one, as Stormcast used their 1 command point to redeploy Ionis, hopefully rolling large enough to move forward and deny them that. Unfortunately, Ionis only rolled a 2 and was able to just shuffle over a little bit, hopefully blocking them out. But it was just barely enough to fit the 5 over there. These guys ran with an additional 2 inches just to try to get us close enough to Ionis and try to block him out from trying to redeploy. It was a dicey one. Beast almost did not get their battle tactic from that. Besides that, during the hero phase, the Bray-Shaman cast Blizzard onto these Judicators, ended up killing 3 of them, with one of them almost dead, but because they were just close enough with Gardas for that last one, he was actually able to make both of his ward saves. The Shaman, unfortunately, though, rolled a 1 on one of the dice. He was down to 1 wound remaining, and it just killed him off, so poor luck there with Blizzard. These guys here failed their charge on into that lone Judicator. And the Chariot went ahead and charged the Judicators here, ended up killing dealing 1.5 mortals on them that weren't saved. And then when it was his turn to attack, he was able to deal the 1 wound with his Devastator Axe, and they weren't able to get a save with that with a rend of 3. So, killing the Judicators there. I actually forgot to do exploding rolls for the 1 Judicator, so he will take 1 more wound from that. With that, it is going to be priority roll, as the Beastmen take this objective for 2, +1 is 4, with another 2 for the battle tactic is 6. So we'll see if Beastmen are able to do at least one more battle tactic in this next turn. Nope. So we'll go on to Stormcast, turn 5. Stormcast, turn 5. They chose Magical Dominance, which they were able to do without any other denies on the table. They were pretty much solid there with Arcane Bolt over there. Knight Zephyros actually failed her Mystic Shield, so it was good that we had that other caster on over there. Other than that, it was just Stormcast kind of mopping up. They shot at these guys with the 2 Judicators over there. Killed them down to 2 guys, and then Andrasta finished them off. Andrasta chucked her spear into the chariot here, and then the Retributors came on in and finished that off. Iona split his attacks on over there, all out attacking during the shooting and during the combat phase, and actually did pretty well, killing 2 of the Ungors there, and then wiping out the rest of the squad, the big squad there. So with that, we're gonna go into Beast turn 5. They failed the battle tactic because it was to have 2 Brayherds units contesting objectives. That's theirs, so they can't do that anymore because they only have that unit of 3 over there. And if in the hero phase, if Ionis's breath weapon pops off, it will just probably mortal them, and then they're gone at that point too. So we'll see what happens. So turn 5 for Beasts. At the start of the hero phase, we rolled the dice to see if Ionis's breath weapon popped off, and we actually rolled a 6. So they didn't take any damage from that. I do have to, I forgot Battle Shock on them. They lost 3, so we got to roll low. 7. I believe they've got a 5, so 2 of them would flee, I believe. Which would mean that this one, because it was going to be a rough one, they still had 1 left. They chose Intimidate the Invaders, which they're going to get, but I was hoping to maybe charge them in here, and then if they made an 8-inch charge, they could have taken this point, because when they go to choose to combat, they would have just retreated away, and they would have been able to take it. But because of that Battle Shock roll that I forgot about, I believe that will be it. They'll gain 2 points for their battle tactic, and that's about it for Beasts. And that will be it for the game. 22 Beasts, 30 Stormcast. I double checked. We only lost 2, which means, but because of that bravery test of, all I needed was 3 or below, and they would have been able to have a chance at this. In fact, actually, would they have even been able to make their charge roll? Yeah, they would have, with an 8, +1 because of the guy. So if they only rolled a 3 or lower on their bravery, they could have grabbed an extra 2 points, but that would have been 24 to 30 still at the end. In the end, I think having that strategy with the Beast would have worked out okay if the dice rolls went with me. Having the Shaman die because he rolled 4 1s on Blizzard was pretty rough, and then having that one die because of rolling a 1 on the Blizzard was just unfortunate. Some of the other whiffs as well for Beasts kind of hurt too, but in the end, I think it was all right. Could have swung either way depending upon dice rolls, unfortunately. So it's not a really solid strategy, because there's definitely that randomness to it. But I think the Stormcast list is decently solid. I like Andrasta. I do have another list for Stormcast that I want to try out just for the funsies before Age of Sigmar 4 drops, and that is just a list of nothing but Redeemers in a Stormkeep with Gardas and Andrasta, just keeping all of the guys alive. So I think that would be kind of fun, just a whole infantry list, and I might do that here after the tournament this weekend, but we'll see. Thanks, hope you enjoyed the game.